Hey folks, this is Jake Davis with the top 5 video for you today. And this is it. This is my 6th and final video covering the top 20 movies of 2020. After this video, I can put the year behind me and start looking at fresh stuff, new movies, and hopefully not the death of the film industry. I do want to point out that the Oscars apparently have been pushed back till April. I really don't think that was necessary. I mean, yeah, sure, a lot of movies got pushed back. A lot of movies got delayed and even canceled. But the thing is, I mean, there were still about 200 movies released this year. In old days of Hollywood, there wasn't near that many, really. I mean, or just as many. It's just, it's not like there was no movies that came out this year. It's just clearly that, especially with them leaning into films that release strictly on streaming sites. I don't know. I think it's there's no reason to push back the Oscars, but they did. So yeah, let's get into this. Number 5, and this is of course my last one. I am covering my picks for the best picture of 2020. So number 5 is Wonder Woman 1984. I'll say once again that I love this movie. It was an absolute blast. 2.5 hours of sheer fun. Gal Gadot's terrific. The villains are far more interesting than than the first movie. Chris Pine is very funny and really the heart of the story. I love the compelling nature of going back to the themes of Man of Steel, being about the real heroes are the human spirit, stuff like this. Things that Diana has to struggle to even understand and grasp. I love how they try to bring in a big sense of fun, but also keep the emotional stakes of the original movie. I loved working in shit that we didn't have from the first film, like the Tierra Frisbee and the Invisible Jet, and yes, the Cheetah. This was a blast of a movie, absolutely entertaining, and I just think people who are hating on, look, man, I had my problems with the Star Wars trilogy sequel, sure. I had my problems with Captain Marvel, absolutely. But this is a good movie. I mean, I'm just not going to pretend any action movie with a female lead is automatically lame. Literally look for things to complain about. I talked to a guy online who I think he even said this in the video already, who said that the movie is SJW and feminist propaganda because in the mall fight she says she fights evil men and she hates guns, and that literally explains every superhero ever, and that's includes guys like Tarzan and Zorro. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of the criticisms for this film are both shallow and forced. Number 4, I'm going to say The Gentleman. The Gentleman was a very, very fun film and terrific gangster movie, and not I didn't like The Irishman. I thought it was shit, in all honesty. But the Gentleman was terrific. I loved all the different characters, all the subplots, all the perspectives, jumping around in time. It was just such an entertaining, fun movie that you could watch again and again and again with countless likable characters and countless strong performances. It is a blast of a film, an absolute must-see. Number 3, The Lodge. Oh, just rip your heart out and throw it on the fire and feed it to you kind of movie. It is draining. It is the Magnolia of horror movies, the Deer Hunter of horror movies, the Schindler's List of horror movies. It will rip you apart. It is a soul-draining motion picture, and it's just so fucking good. I mean, if it wasn't for the quality of filmmaking and the acting and the writing and the photography, it would just be too much of a bummer. You know what I mean? But the fact that it sell so well on those elements of quality is what makes it such a phenomenal motion picture. One of the best horror movies of the last 10 years. And the last 10 years have had some good fucking horror movies. Number 2, I would say Possessor. Another horror movie. Now, I've seen Possessor twice in the last week and a half. It's something else, man. I mean, not only is it brutally violent, not only is it thematically rich, it is so visually dazzling, and haunting to the ears because of the score and the sound design, a lot of the dialogue. It is a compelling, haunting, entrancing motion picture. I've heard people argue that it's not a horror movie, it's really more of a sci-fi film. But you know what? No, it's a horror movie. You can have horror, sci-fi. This is a horror film. And it is damn near the best movie of the year. And my number one. The best movie of 2020. Easily. Hands down. And even though Possessor did come close, it's definitely Let Him Go. Let Him Go is an emotional, again, haunting, stirring story about loss, obsession, determination, and just pain. Diane Lane's performances, best performance of the year. Kevin Costner's phenomenal. Just every aspect of this movie is just so well made and just so compelling. And it's a masterwork. It's a masterstroke. Everyone involved in this movie should be deeply proud of themselves because they pulled off something special with this film. It's a modern, even though it takes place in the 60s, it's kind of a contemporary Western because, in certain parts of this country, even certain parts of the country that we see in this film, a lot of these elements and these themes are still relevant. And situations could still happen, like isolation and favorite small town political corruption, shit like this. It is a masterpiece, and I cannot say enough good things about Let Him Go. My honorable mentions, I will say Love and Monsters was a blast of a horror comedy and one of the funnest films of the year. Emma was absolutely delightful and just kind of a step into a lost age of films. You know what I mean? The Hunt was just so hysterical and so brutal and just so relevant, contemporarily politically relevant. Some of the best political satire I've seen, maybe since Canadian Bacon. It's just so fucking funny and so rewarding. Sonic the Hedgehog really just for what they did and what they went for. The problem with Sonic the Hedgehog is the script, the concept, really, the plot, if you will. But the performances, and when they finally went back and did the special effects, it paid off. That extra work is shown, and it should be appreciated. And it's the family movie of the year, in my opinion. And for my miscellaneous other category awards, I ain't bother telling you nominees as I didn't last time, and I ain't doing 17 of these videos. In addition to Best Picture, Actress, and Best Actress, I'm also giving Let Him Go. Best Actress Diane Lane, that is. I'm also giving Let Him Go Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Original Score, who was Marco Beltrami, and Best Cinematography. In addition to Best Director for Guy Ritchie for The Gentleman, I'm also giving The Gentleman Best Film Editing. Queen Bee, I'm gonna give best costume design. As well as best original song, Johnny Flynn's Queen Bee. You could have tricked me and told me that song was 200 years old, and they just fucking used it for this film. I'm giving Possessor as well as best supporting actress for Andrea Riseborough. I'm also giving it best original screenplay. I'm giving best Wonder Woman 1984 art direction and sound. I'm giving Bill and Ted Face the Music best makeup, fun movie. Love and Monsters, I'm going to give that best visual effects. What's up, Sweet Pea? And is that everything? Yeah, that's all of them. In short, it's just Hollywood was on a run before COVID. Between 2013 and 2019, there was just an abundance of high-quality, high-entertaining films coming out every year. And this year was rough. It was kind of hard just to justify this video. But, I figure I saw 67 films from this year. When I did my awards, my video, I didn't do award. I wrote a thing on, I think I wrote it on Facebook. I'm not sure what site I was on at the time. But I wrote it out on... I wrote my video out on... oh, dang it. I wrote my video, my awards out on, whatchamacallit, some site in 2012. And that year, I had only seen, 30-something movies. That was a rough year for movies. But yeah, man, this was, it could have been a better year, but what good movies did come out this year were damn good. Phenomenal. See the films I recommended, especially stuff like Possessor and especially Let Him Go. Anyhow, hope y'all enjoyed this video. Somebody popped in for a quick cameo and said, hi. Shy baby. I'm Jake Davis, and I'll catch you on the fly.